Hey everybody, welcome to the Life Live. As you can see, this is Gerald C. Anderson Sr. Tina is not with us tonight. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight, so you're stuck with me. So for a whole show, we got a great show coming up. We got three fabulous guests that I think you're gonna really, really enjoy. And I know that I'm gonna enjoy them. So we got Cierra Sims, who's going to be talking to us about the things that she's doing. Most of all, the domestic violence part. If you know me, you know that my writing experience from Standing Firm, then you know that domestic violence was a big thing for me. So, and then we have Paula G. Voice, who's in our spring issue. If you haven't picked a copy of that issue up with the whispers on the cover, make sure you grab that and read her entire story. But Paula's a very talented actor, TV host, and voiceover artist herself. And then we have Nefertiti Aziz, who is a harp player. Yes, a harp player. I've never met a harp player before in my life, so I got to meet one here, and she is outstanding. You'll get to hear her play, and then we'll get to talk to her. So before we go any further, though, we'd like to pull our condolences out to Buff Patterson. As you know, Buff does our Life Positive Media Moments every show, where she brings us 5 minutes of a great person that you may not know. And Buff lost her mom, so we want to send our condolences to her and her family as they go through that time of grieving. So, and Barbara Duggars, her mom, the funeral will be May 23rd in California. So if you happen to be in that area, look Buff up and give her some encouragement as she goes through that time. So, without any further ado, let's get to Miss Cierra Sims. As I said, Cierra is a person who is all about human rights, in particular domestic violence and human trafficking. She's out fighting these great battles, and we like to see that. And so, we're going to bring Cierra to the stage and talk to her about what she has going on. Welcome, Cierra, to the stage. You're on mute there.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Yeah, don't mute it. We want to hear you. We want to hear what you got to say.
I gotta bring up my voice. I'm sorry about that. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Out here in sunny Arizona, just soaking up all this sun.
Oh yeah, rub it in, okay? Because it's doing that raining here. It seems like it's been raining for the last 2 weeks here in
Oh my goodness. Wouldn't want to be in that. No, thank you.
Yeah. No one would. I don't want to be in it. We got to deal with what we're dealing with. So.
Right.
Yeah. So I've read your impressive bio. So I was very impressed by your bio. So, of course, I don't know if you knew or not, but I wrote a book called Standing Firm, and it dealt with domestic violence. So when I saw that on your bio, I was like, oh, love this.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for sharing your message through your book. That's greatly appreciated. So I look forward to hearing more about that too.
Yeah. So with domestic violence, of course, the big thing for me was people were saying a man is out there, fighting the fight for domestic violence. So that was big for a lot of ladies that I had a chance to talk to. So what has been the thing that's really stuck with you as you go out and talk to people about domestic violence?
What's really just honed in my spirit when it comes to domestic violence awareness is how often it happens and how many of us actually have the same story. It's beyond me how many people I could talk to, and they either don't realize that they are experiencing some form of domestic violence. When we think domestic violence, oftentimes we think about just the physical. We don't think about the emotional. We don't think mainly about the mental abuse that happens. And so the traumas and our past traumas and things that we have gone through, all of those things are domestic violence. All of those things fall into some category of domestic violence. And, it's different, but it's all similar and it's all connected to how we can come together and be relatable to one another. And so that's something that I've seen a lot in the community as I continuously share my own personal story and share the story of others, is that we do have that relatable experience. Everyone may not have experienced physical domestic violence, but they have experienced domestic violence as some form, shape, or fashion.
Yeah, and you're right about that because as a man, and actually I had men come and approach me about being abused as well in domestic
Mm-hmm.
violence. So I did have that too, but most men experience it as one of their loved ones were affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we deal with it from that aspect. And so, it's and I often said during my tour was that, if men jumped in and fought the fight with the women, I think we decreased this a lot and hopefully even got rid of it a lot. So
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree because there is a lot of men out there who are advocates, but we could use a lot more. Because when we think about it, when you're seeing that experience, those are the examples that you're seeing. In your male intuition, something's not right,
right.
but that's the examples that you have. But if you are out here with us and seeing and listening to these stories, even listening to those who have been abused, whether men, women, you will see that your intuition wasn't steering you wrong.
Right.
And so you're more inclined to really help and push the message forward and do something about it as well.
Right. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So talk to me about your how to move from damage to destiny. I'm thinking that's probably domestic violence related too.
It is. And that is actually where it derives from. It's my personal journey of how I moved from a damaged place into my destiny. My spouse's name is Destiny. So, that's my happy place. And that's kind of where my personal journey leads. But everyone has their own destiny. It's not necessarily with a person. It could be within self. It could be some success that you've overcome. But the movement, the how to move movement is what I kind of, call it on the offset, is different steps that are intricately placed on how I was able to move from a space of damage and not confident and low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, all of these things that really just take a toll on us mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I took these steps and I formulated it into a conversation that I can continuously have with different audiences and sharing not only my personal journey, but really resonating with other people and the steps they can take into getting to their destiny. So just briefly, the MOVE is an acronym. The M is going to be that first part, and that's changing your mindset. So you have to be able to change your mindset in order to move to the next level. It is literally your foundation. Your mind is what is going to start your process to trigger that there is something that you deserve more and that you could do better. Once you have that mindset change, you're open to new opportunities and you're open to receiving those new opportunities. So that's that O. And so we start talking about how opportunities come, what those opportunities look like, and what are those learning experiences, whether positive or negative. What are the learning experiences you can take from that will help you to build your V, which is your value. And once you start to build that value of yourself, now you have kind of found that sweet spot to where, okay, I know what I will and I won't tolerate. I know what I do and I don't like. You start to see that there is a way for you to express who you are, be authentic, because you know your value, you know your morals, you know where you stand. And because of that, you are able to get to that E, which is your experience. And that's where you're starting to ask yourself, how do I want to experience life? How do I want to experience my life? So that E is for the different experiences that you want to have in life. And that is how you get to that destiny. So your E is your end destination, but you can continuously use this cycle. So I used it not only for my domestic violence situation and to be able to grow past that, but also how I was able to move forward as a speaker, how I was able to move forward in my businesses. I continuously use the movement in different areas of my life. So that's move.
That's awesome. I like that acronym. How long did it take you to do that? How long did it take you to come up with that?
You know what? It actually took me one day.
Okay.
Yeah, one day.
That's pretty good. I like that. So it's method to the madness. I see. There's Desiree has a comment. Desiree is always giving us some great clients, and you're another in a long line of the people that she sent our way. So we appreciate Desiree for bringing you
Thank
to.
you, Desiree. Hey.
Yeah. So I understand that you also have a conference that you put together, Black Male
I
X.
do. Yes.
And what's
So
the theme
I
this year?
have.
What's the theme
It's
this year?
coming up here soon.
Uh,
So the Black Male X Conference is happening from June 7th through June 9th here in Tempe, Arizona.
okay.
And we have 3 days that are really honing into the experience of the Black male. So BLK stands for Boss, Leader, King, but when you read it all together, you're reading Black. And so I
Mhm.
really thought, if you can't tell already, I'm big on acronyms.
Yeah.
So that kind of plays into that as well. But when you really think about the Black male X, X stands for experience. That goes into my fintech background.
Mhm.
In the fintech world, when we say X, we mean experience. So I really wanted to think about how the Black male experience has been in the past and what platform could I give, what safe space could I give as an event planner for them to be able to have that space to have these open and candid conversations with different pillars that, one, that could potentially be for healing, two, for them to network with other like-minded individuals, and three, to be able to see the support, and also to be able to gain mentorship and all of these different things in one space for this weekend. So I'm really excited about the conference. The speakers are all dominating in their fields. So we're really excited to have them on Saturday. Our Friday event is really just a kickoff. It's a nice, relaxed networking. We'll be at a cigar lounge, hanging out for a few hours just to really get to know each other. Saturday is our all-day conference. We have our 4 different pillars that are being touched. We have Ty Smith, who is coming in for Tech X to talk about how to get into the tech field. If you don't necessarily have that master's degree to be able to be an engineer, but you want to get into tech, he's going to come in and show you some steps and ways that you can take that are tangible for you to be able to get into the tech industry. We then have Empower X from Pastor Larry Gooden of Dominion World Ministries, who is coming in to really talk about empowerment, healing, and just growing into the person that you want to be. And then we have Wellness X, and then we have TJ Meters, who is coming in. He is a Black male therapist who is going to discuss trauma, discuss healing from the space of mental health and space of past traumas to be able to really hone in and get through and get those breakthroughs happening for the brotherhood. And then lastly, we have Wealth X, and we have Ray Spencer, who is going to discuss how to build generational wealth, how to sustain it, and how to continuously produce it. So basically from where you are into building into that millionaire and the work that it takes to get into those spaces. Our conference is hosted by King Kong. A lot of people may know him as the prior host of Poetic Soul. And then we also have a special guest host who's coming in, Ty Big Baby from Comedy Central, and BET's Comic View is going to be there. And then we have two special guests actually. We have Paris Johnson Jr. from the Arizona Cardinals, who is going to come in and have lunch with some of our VIP ticket holders. And then we have Dr. Will Moreland, who is coming on our gala night, which is Sunday night, our African Royalty Gala and Awards. He will be the keynote speaker coming in. Dr. Will Moreland is one of the top 30 motivational speakers in the world. So we're really excited to have him coming out during our awards night as we celebrate a Black man in the community who will be receiving the Achievement Award. So, yeah.
It sounds like a major event going on down there. And you said that
Yeah,
was
we got it cooking. Hey, if I have the space in the community, being an Arizona native and, doing the market research about the community and what's out there, what's available to Black men, it wasn't there. So why not build this platform and give the availability for them to come out and really just engage and embrace one another, and to support each other in a safe space, to have those open and candid conversations.
okay. And what was the theme of this year's conference?
So this year's conference theme is "I See You, King,"
Yeah,
because I
that's
felt that it was fitting for the
that's what I wanted you to
inaugural
say.
conference. It's
Yeah.
fitting, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to say because we don't hear that a lot. You know, we don't hear that a lot. So to see a black woman saying that, have a conference saying "I see you, King," I thought that was a really big thing. That caught my attention more than anything else. Was you first of all, you putting on this conference for black men. I think that's awesome, and then your theme is "I see you, King." So I think that was really awesome. So we appreciate that. I'll speak for all the brothers.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys got to come out, get your voices heard.
Yeah. So have you thought about, like taking this like nationally at some point?
Oh, you are hitting that sweet spot. I have been asked so many times,
Mhm.
have I thought about that? And you know what? It's wearing on me. I have thought about taking it to other places. One place that I really I've gotten a lot of inquiries about the DMV. So
Yeah.
taking it out there. And I've also gotten a few inquiries about taking it to Texas.
Okay.
So, I'm definitely open to moving the conference out to places. Being an event planner, I know that there's, a lot of different areas that I can make this happen, and I'm open to
Mhm.
it. If the world is open to it, the black men of the world are open to it, I'm open to it too.
Okay. Well, the DMV is me, so I'm the M, Maryland. So we definitely love to see that here. So keep that in mind when you're doing this in the future. So that'd be a great thing. I think it'll be a great thing to hit as many places as it can be hit. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to be looking for you then when we take it out there to them. I'm looking for you.
I will be there. So yeah, I will
Good.
definitely be there because it's great to see someone see a black woman supporting black men and putting on a conference like this to support black men. So I love that. I think it's great. So
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
yeah. So and the last thing I wanted to touch on, well, first, I see you got these accolades, being top 20, what was it, women to watch in 2023, and then there's a
Mhm.
top 40 under 40 award that you've got. Seeing some impressive things that people are recognizing what you're doing, and I think that's a great thing for you. So,
Thank you.
but like, can we talk about the human trafficking
Yeah.
aspect of what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. So the work with the human trafficking is really just one, getting the community involved and just building awareness around it. So out in the community, I pass out these different flyers and just informationals to teenagers are really my key focus group.
Mm,
I don't specify male or female teenagers, I teenagers altogether,
mhm,
because I look at it as anybody could be trafficked, but those who are more in a vulnerable mindset have a higher percentage of being trafficked.
mm,
So I'm always building awareness. I talk to students at schools. I'm going into these classrooms and making sure that I am letting it be known what's happening, how it can happen, how easily it can happen, and how quickly it could happen, what signs to look for. So, all of those things are really, really important for our teenagers to know. My next step or next goal in that process, not only do I want to continue talking to the students, but I really want to talk to the parents and start building that community for them to be knowledgeable on what signs to look for
mhm.
their child who may potentially think about, being online, finding someone, and, being in these open spaces. Anyone is accessible.
Right.
What signs to look for from your child? When is, you want to build that trust and privacy, but when that's too late. So that is my goal, is to start reaching out to parents. But at this present time, I'm really focused in on teenagers and getting the word out there to them and building awareness for them.
Right. I think that's so necessary because these computer systems out here now, teenagers can get on there and people can
Hmm.
be someone else and lure them out. So that they need to be
Exactly.
knowledgeable that the person on the other end of that computer may not be who you think they are. So
Exactly.
and I think that
Exactly.
that's been said for years, but now it's even more important than ever because teens can be on computers and we don't even know what they're doing on their computer. The parents don't know what
Right.
they're doing on their computer. And
Exactly.
they'd be lured out there. So we definitely don't want that to be the case. So that's a more great work that you're doing. So we appreciate that as well. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and going and going.
mm,
At this time, I just do it on my own. It's just something I enjoy doing and just getting out there, boots on the ground, and just going and talking. But I foresee it getting bigger and the message getting spread all over to where the teenagers do want to pay attention.
right. Yeah. So so. I mean, there's so much more that's on your bio and resume and stuff. I mean, we could take up a whole hour talking about the many things that you're doing. So I just wanted to touch on some of the highlights of it. So I appreciate you being able to come by and chat with us for a little bit.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for having me. Big Steps, just come out to the conference June 7th through 9th, the Black Male X in Tempe, Arizona. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, the Black Male X.
All right. So y'all make sure you follow her on the Black Male X, and I'm gonna go follow you also. So
Oh, thank you.
so that's great. Yeah. So people are doing great things. You have to follow them, and you have to give them your support. So this is probably not the last time we'll chat, because if I know Desiree, we'll probably get you in the magazine as well. So to continue to spread the word some more. So
Gotta love her.
thank you for coming by tonight, and thank you, Desiree,
Thank you.
for bringing your client on. So have a good evening.
Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right. So make sure y'all follow the Black Male X on Facebook and Instagram. So before we get to Paula, we're gonna have a commercial break and pay some bills.
Hello, I'm Glennis Albright, your Waffle Queen, and welcome to my kitchen. But now I'd like to invite you to join an even larger and more exclusive kitchen, Cooking with Glennis's Kitchen Masterclass.
Our Masterclass group isn't just a Facebook group, it's a vibrant, supportive community designed for cooking enthusiasts. Here, you'll gain access to a treasure trove of unique, easy-to-prepare recipes exclusive to our group members.
Join me in streaming and live cooking classes where you will learn all of my culinary techniques and I will answer all of your burning questions.
You won't be learning from just any chef, you'll be learning from Glennis Albright, a celebrity chef known worldwide as the Waffle Queen. With over 25 years of experience creating foods for people with health challenges, Glennis brings a wealth of knowledge and passion to the table. You'll be able to participate in fun cooking challenges and contests, enjoy special discounts, and you'll get tips about which appliances, utensils, and products to buy. With Cooking with Glennis's Kitchen, you're not just joining a group. You're becoming part of a family of cooks who learn, grow, and support each other. There will be surprise guests too.
So why wait? Join Cooking with Glennis's Kitchen Masterclass group today and start your journey to faster, healthier, tastier cooking. I can't wait to welcome you into the GK tribe.
All right. So of all the people that I end up interviewing over the years, Glennis was one of those ones that I interviewed back in 2022, I believe it was. And she's become a great friend, and she's sending us great people. And another in that line of people that she has sent to us is Paula G Voice. And I looked up Paula on the internet, and she says, I am living the statement that it is never too late to be who you dream about being. And I thought that was a fabulous statement. So we would like to bring Paula to the stage and talk to Paula for a few minutes about what she's doing. And so come on down, Paula.
Come on down.
Come on down. See, we both old enough to know that show. So
Yes, come on with the hats and the gloves and the.
Yeah. How you doing this evening?
I am wonderful. I woke up this morning and I am just blessed to have the opportunity each and every day to live my best life.
Amen. Amen. Be the person you dreamed about being, right?
It's never too late. That is a George Eliot quote, that it's never too late to be what you might have been. And in this season, I just had a milestone birthday about a month ago. And, I am fully embracing this. I'm a legit baby boomer now.
All right. Well, happy belated birthday, then. So,
Thank you. And before we go any further, I have to give some love. I have to give a shout out to the just wonderful, blessed, amazing. I love her so much. Glennis Albright, and just thank her so much for the opportunity. She's such a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful person. So, Glennis, I know you're watching or listening. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you.
yeah, she's always very helpful to people.
Yes,
she's just great. There's just no word to describe other than
yes.
she's a great
And she
person.
can cook.
But
I've gotten her products. I'm a witness.
yeah, I got her products too. So the
Yes,
products are great. So yeah, so tell people to make sure they join that cooking class,
that's,
master class she has
that's
going.
right. Yep, y'all better join.
So tell us how your journey began. And I know that you're an actor, you're a TV
Mhm.
host. So I feel like I'm under pressure because a peer is on here with me. So
Yeah, it's a little different to be in the other seat.
right, right.
So it's a little different. It's a little different to be a guest, but I am, as I mentioned before, I am repping the baby boomers.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
a baby boomer, a print model, commercial actor. I'm an author, contributing writer for Flourish Digital Magazine, TV host of my own show, My Journey with Paula G, voiceover actor, a visual ambassador for Raw Body Essentials, the baby boomer visual ambassador for Raw Body Essentials. And I am a woman who has transformed her life and walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given me. Sometimes we go through life sometimes and we're so consumed with the happenings of life that sometimes we get to a point where we don't know ourselves, we don't know our gifts, we don't know our talents. And when I tell people I've transformed my life and I'm walking in those gifts and talents, it wasn't that my previous life was a bad life at all. It was just a
Mhm.
different life, and circumstances occurred which prompted the transformation. I was a military spouse for about 23 years,
Mhm.
active duty and, traveling around the world. And there are positive and not so positive aspects to being a military family. I wouldn't trade it for the world because
Mhm.
I learned so much, got to see the world, uh, grew up, matured.
Right.
A lot of the experiences that I had during that time period and a lot
Mhm.
of the lessons that I learned really have helped me to become who I am today. But I always say that 9/11 was the first day of the rest of my life. And,
Mhm.
the casualties of war don't just happen on the battlefield, they happen in the home as well. And, sometimes there are dynamics of life in the military, especially during wartime, that can really cause a change in the shift in the dynamic of the family. So I found myself it's almost been 20 years now
Mhm.
ago on the threshold of being single and civilian at the same time. And
Right.
for some people who may have military experience, I was a military spouse all my adult life
Right.
until my mid 40s. And at that time, when I divorced, I was single and I was civilian at the same time. So those were two, at least for me, those were two pretty big transformations
Mhm.
at that particular point in time. And I went through, a lot of challenges in discovering who I was, because as women, and I'm sure men too, we are defined by these roles that we are in, and we're proud
Right.
of those roles. But then we come to a point in our life where we those roles may not be dominant, and we find ourselves asking, well, who am I? And
Mhm.
what is it that is inside of me that I have that I can do? And one of the things that Sierra spoke to is so true. It's that whole mindset.
Mhm.
And I found myself, I have these courses, mindset journey courses. I have my television show, My Journey with Paula G, my book, My Journey to Lady Wisdom After Midnight. And they were all birthed out of my experiences of, we all have experiences. And as I was listening to Sierra, just a prime example that we all have these experiences in our lives that can bring us to a point where we can take those experiences and those lessons that we've learned, and we can utilize them in a manner to encourage others, minister to others, help others
Mhm.
through their particular journey, and share the lessons that we've learned and share the
Mhm.
wisdom that we've gained, and utilize our gifts and talents in such a manner that
Right.
we can encourage and inspire others to overcome their particular situation. So when she was speaking of her acronym, she's spot on with that, because
Mhm.
within my mindset journey courses, it's the same thing. I look at the timeline. Sometimes we're so affected by the traumas of our past, whatever those traumas are, and we all have different traumas. Those traumas of our past, sometimes we have to kind of go through that timeline. I was a school counselor for a number of years.
Mhm.
And, we have this technique where we go through this timeline, we peel back the layers of our lives, and we break down the particular memories, and we look at what happened during certain aspects of our lives to bring us to where we are, to how we react to things, to how we respond to things. We hear these words, people talk about triggers.
Mm.
What are these triggers? What are these things? And we look at those memories. We have to break those memories down. We have to speak to those memories. And a lot of times we don't want to speak to those memories, because those are
Right.
things that we buried, and things that we don't want to deal with. But in my own experience, I've learned that in order to get to where it was that I desired to be, which was, to be in a place where I was free from a lot of that baggage, and free from a lot of trauma and triggers and all of those sorts of things, that get to a place where I could be released and free from those. I had to go back to some of those moments, and I had to really, uh, experience them again, so to speak, and really dig into them, and just like I said, peel back those layers and unlock that negative mindset to really deal with some of those things, so that I could come out of them, move
Right.
forward, and get to where it is where I am today. And like I said, we all have a journey. As the audience is listening, everyone could probably speak to their memories. Everyone could probably um, take something from their experiences and utilize those things to
Mhm.
help others. And to your point in the beginning with the quote, and I found that quote some years ago, and it still speaks volumes. George Eliot's quote: "It is never too late. I don't care how old you are, as long as
Right.
you're living and breathing, and you wake up every day. It is never too late to be what I call what you might have been." I always wanted
Right.
to be, a model in my younger years, but here I am as a baby boomer in my mid-60s, and I'm modeling.
Right. Yeah. So when you talk, a lot of people talk about something they went through, like you're talking about the transformation and all,
Yeah.
and the listeners sometimes will think, oh, that happened like overnight, and we know that
Mm-mm.
that's not necessarily true.
No,
So it
no.
happens over some time. So
Yes. It
so
it
tell
it
us about the transformation for you. How long did that take?
Oh gosh, I'm still transforming.
Okay.
I'm still transforming. I feel that there are certain things that I have gone through and I have dealt with, that I have been able to release, and I'm
Mhm.
free from. And
Okay.
then there's certain things where I've come to accept the fact that I may have to coexist with some of those things,
Mhm.
for the rest of my life, let's just say. But
Mm.
I've learned to coexist in such a manner where I can still wake up with joy every day.
Right. Yeah.
I can still
And
wake up.
that's the thing. That's the thing. You get to that point where, you whatever the situation that brought you to where you are, you're down or whatever, what you might be feeling, and you have to realize that that's not the end.
Right.
You have to go through something, which is what you're talking about with the transformation. You have to go through something to come out the other end.
Come on now.
Once you come out the other end, like the scripture says, joy comes in the morning.
There you go. There you go. And and I just want to, as I'm scrolling, doing my best to scroll here. Will and Sean, yes, y'all are right on it. I see you. Y'all are right on it. I see you. I had this experience one time, and after that experience, it really got me to think. And a friend of mine and I, we had gone down to Miami, and it was a beautiful day. Sun was shining. It was gorgeous. And way off in the distance, the sky was dark. I said, I think a thunderstorm is coming. It started to get a little windy and whatnot. We need to head back up to the room. Got it back up to our room. We were like on the 20-something floor. By the time we got up there, the storm was like right over the top of the hotel, right? So the wind is blowing and it's hail, and it felt like the hotel was rocking and people are panicking, they're screaming, and do we stay up here? Do we go downstairs? And I'm just in a panic. This storm is sitting right on top of us. But then I stopped, and the Holy Spirit said, wait a minute, this is the same storm that was way off in the distance. It has traveled to where you all are. Be still. Right. Be still and know that I am God.
Oh, you're starting to preach now. Okay.
Yeah. And the storm will pass. And that is a valuable lesson that I've learned, that, the storms of life will come. Some last longer than others. I can't give you a time frame. Yeah, some last longer than others. But the storms of life come, and sometimes we got to be still in the storm till it passes. Sometimes we got to drive through a storm. I have a friend that wrote a poem about never stop in the middle of the storm. He speaks to the same kind of scenario where some people stopped on the side of the road, but he was going a little fast. It stormed, and he started slowing down, at a slow speed, and eventually came through the storm. So sometimes you got to keep going through the storm. Sometimes you have to be still and let the storm pass, so you can reach that point of life in your life where you can really begin, because God has put gifts and talents in each and every one of us.
Right.
And we've got to, I remember the song about stirring up the gifts.
Right.
We've got to, unlock that negative mindset, release some of those things. And it takes a minute. Like I said, that there's some things that I'm still challenged with. And I use the analogy, it's muscle memory. We've all had the experience where the electricity goes out. The electricity went out. But when you walk in the room, what's the first thing you do? You're going to hit that, light switch, right?
Right.
It's the muscle memory. So that muscle memory takes a while to unravel. It takes a while to release. So there's some things that we may think that we have gotten over, with things that we think we have gotten past. We have to be gentle with ourselves and understand that when it comes to certain memories and traumas and so forth, that muscle memory is real. We've got to recognize it and be able to acknowledge it and do what we need to do to be able to release those things altogether. Or if there's certain things, because there's certain things that still trigger me, and I realize that these are things that I may have to coexist with, like I said before, for the rest of my life. So I have to find a way to do so. Right. So I can, like, okay, I'm triggered today. Why am I triggered? What is this situation? Why am I got to speak to it? Why am I triggered today? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's something that I know that I have to deal with, but it's not going to hinder me from doing voiceover and print model work and being a digital ambassador for Raw Body Essentials, or a contributing writer for Flourish Digital Magazine, a host of my own show. And the theme around the courses, the theme around the television show, the theme around my book, all center around not so much my personal story, but the story of we can all juggle this journey called life. That's my theme for my television show. We juggle this journey called life, because life is going to continue to happen. while we're walking in our gifts and our talents. I
Right.
still have things going on in my personal life that, in another season might have just, I can't model, or I can't do a voice, or I can't do all those things because, I'm dealing with this right now.
Right.
But with the help of the Holy Spirit, we've got to utilize what He's given us, because life is still going to happen. Life is still happening, and we just pray for that ability to, continue to navigate through the different seasons of life, navigate through the different storms of life, while we're using what it is that He's given us.
Right. I want to highlight one of the things that you said was this the Holy Spirit telling you to be still, or or maybe you keep going through the storm. That's the voice that a lot of times we get ourselves into situations and we listen to everybody else except what the Spirit is telling us to do. And I had this conversation this month. Also, sometimes you got to shut out everybody else and listen to what God is telling you to do. You follow what God is telling you to do, you will never go wrong.
You never go
wrong. I follow what Gerald wants to do. We could get off the beaten path and do the wrong thing.
Yes.
So you got to back off, and you got to kneel down, and you got to talk to God, who will give you the right advice every time.
Every single time.
But you got to listen. You got to listen. You got to listen to the Spirit.
You got to listen to that still small voice. I had a question in the chat in regard to connecting with me. And I know we may do it at the end, but just to address a question, I am Paula G Voice across all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. My website is paulagvoice.com. So that's how you can connect with me and learn a bit more. I've done a lot of audio blogs on encouraging topics, the mindset, and it's never too late, walking your gifts, walking your talents, overcoming certain things. So all of those are on my YouTube channel as well.
All right. So it's we talked about everything except what the things that you're doing. we got up on this sermon you started giving it. So
I know, like I said, when you're in the other seat, it's like, oh wait, this is a little different.
Yeah. So I mean, but you're in Georgia, I believe.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So your show is you have your show and all, and so you've rebounded. You've made the transformation.
Yes.
And you've rebounded from what your life was to what your life is today. But I think people may not understand. You said you were a military spouse, and so you found yourself being single and being civilian. They may understand the single part, but I don't know if they really understand the civilian part.
So, so being military, you generally will live on a military installation or a military base. And a lot of the military bases where you're stationed at are really small cities. Like if they have to close the gates, if they have to lock the gates for whatever, especially if you're in another country, they have to lock the gates. The base itself, it functions as a small city. So you have everything that you need on that military base.
That's right.
Everything that is provided for you. And some people say, well, that's great. I mean, I wish I had that. But like I said, with the military, there are pros and there are things that are not exactly pros. When you're talking military, of course, you're talking the potential of being military, whether spouse or active duty during wartime. That is not a pleasant time.
Right.
During war times, when you see that detail, coming down the street in your quarters, and you pray that they don't stop at your quarters, but they're going to stop at somebody's quarters.
Right.
They're stopping at somebody's quarters. Yeah. So it's there is sacrifice, with that. but being military, living on military installations, medical facilities, being on the military, just really self-sufficient.
Right.
It was a bit of a transition from that to being out and just a non-military
Right.
environment. I remember when, I I had rented a home. I was renting a home, and I was looking to. Well, my husband and I at the time were renting a home because we were temporarily stationed at our last duty station. And so when a marriage ended, I was still in the home, and I had bought my own home. So I was renting this home, and I bought my own home. So after like a week or two, I'm like, okay, why nobody's come to pick up my furniture, my house, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not military anymore. My
Right.
husband doesn't call me with, an appointment. This is when we're coming to pack you out. I have
Right.
to call the moving company, and I
Right.
have to make those arrangements, and I have to get the quotes. And I know that might sound silly, but when you are, like I said, I was married pretty much right out of college. All I knew was military life. If something was broken or needed fixing in my quarters, you pick up the phone, you call somebody. When
Yeah.
it was, time to move from duty station to duty station, they called you and let you know when they were coming in to, pack you out. They moved you, went to your next duty station, and all your belongings, were there. So, yeah, it was a little bit of a different culture.
Yeah, so I get it because I 20 years in the Air Force, so I get
Yeah.
it. I just wanted to make sure the audience understood what that meant. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we appreciate you coming by tonight and talking to
Oh,
us,
thank you
giving us
so
that
much.
sermon. That was wonderful. There's some good nuggets in there. So if
Yeah.
y'all, tell everybody to come back and listen to this, so you can pick up those good nuggets. So that was great. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. And once again, shout out to Glennis. And I just want to leave everyone with what I leave everyone on my show with, and that is the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice?
Right. That is that's on your website too. I read that too.
Yeah.
So, so I like that comment too. So thank you very much for coming
Thank
by,
you.
and we appreciate you.
Uh,
Remember, you can read Paula's complete story in the spring issue of the Life magazine. So
yes.
keep that up.
And the whispers on the cup,
And with on the cover, yeah.
I'm just all feeling myself now. The whispers on the cover.
All right. All right, Paula. Have a good evening and enjoy
Thank
the rest of
you.
your week and your weekend.
Blessings to all. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Paula. Remember, she's in the spring issue. So next we get to talk. Music is my thing too. So I love music. So we're gonna get into some music next. We're gonna play a little video so you can hear Nefertiti play. And I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. I enjoy it every time I listen to it. So without further ado, let's listen to Nefertiti Aziz play her harp. All right, that was awesome. I was finding myself about to be so soothed I was falling asleep. So without, we want to bring Nefertiti to the stage and welcome her. How you doing, young lady?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm really good. I really love that song, and I've heard a couple of other ones from in the past, but I love that one too. So we appreciate you coming in, joining us tonight. Um, so your harp playing, I've never heard anybody play the harp before. I've never known anybody play the harp before. I'll put it that way. So how did you get started doing this?
Oh, what a story. So it was during COVID. We were locked in the house and I just had a feeling like I wanted to do something for God and I didn't know what it was. So I figured I wanted to play the piano. I'll teach myself how to play the piano. So I went out and bought a piano. Because I was like, I'm gonna teach myself how to play the piano. I'm gonna play keyboard for church. And I bought it and just could not get into it. I couldn't get my hands to cooperate with each other. Like my left hand, it was a mess. And so I'm like, well, this is not it. And so I just kept asking God, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? And then I had a dream. I was playing the harp. I don't know anybody who plays a harp. I didn't know anything about the harp, nothing. Um, I knew my husband was gonna have a problem with it because I just bought this piano. So I just hopped online, ordered me a harp, had it made, got it sent to me, and was like, surprise, surprise, when he got home.
Oh.
And then I just taught myself how to play. And it has been an amazing journey ever since then. Very
So
amazing.
wait a minute. You started by saying this started with COVID, right?
Yes.
That's what you said? COVID started 4 years ago. So you telling me that you played that well in just 4 years?
Well, I had to wait 8 months for the harp to be made. So I didn't get the harp. It's only been 2.5 years.
Oh my goodness.
Because they're all made to order. So I had to order it and then wait for it to be made and then wait for it to be shipped to my house. So it's been 2.5
Wow.
since then.
Wow. That is some talent. That is some true talent there, I'm impressed. I play the piano myself, but I've been playing for years and years. So, but that is amazing that you picked that up and you can play that well in 2.5 years. I know your mom couldn't be on. Your mom, my wife, couldn't be on the show tonight, but she does have a message for you. So we want to let you hear that message.
Oh, okay.
My dearest Nefertiti, I'm very proud of you. You have always had the strength of a queen, even before you realized how powerful you are. I knew you'd be special from birth. Over the years, I watched you matured and balanced into a beautiful God-fearing woman. God has blessed and humbled you in many ways, and He's given you the gift of music, which soothes the hearts and souls of many, including your own. Life is beautiful when we allow God's Spirit to work through us and share it with others. I leave you with these words of wisdom. The path for you has been cleared. The terrains of yesteryear will remain in the past. Yes, there will always be mountains to climb, but there is no greater mountain than knowing one day you will reach a destination of peace. It has been said that when we reach peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding, the ultimate of joy lies within us. Shine on,
so that your light might provide harmony to others who are lost in spirit, mind, and body. Allow the music to penetrate and heal the brokenhearted, bringing serenity to those who are in despair. There's a proverb that says, still water runs deep, yet the water is held back with barriers. But God has given you the grace to flow like the running rivers, and the grace to soar on the wings of angels. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless you, and I love you, Mom.
There you go. So we thought we surprised you with that little video from your mom. She couldn't be here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, so she couldn't be here, but she wanted to leave you with some words during your interview tonight. So
Yes, sir.
all right. All right. So back to your playing now. I'm still amazed. I'm still looking at it. I was like 2.5 years. Like one of my good friends from high school, Shelton McCarr, pointed out, it takes years to sound that well. You know, we're both musicians, so to hear that you picked this thing up in 2.5 years, you sound like you sound right now. That is commendable to you. It was something you was definitely born into doing. So. I know you have some music out there, so can you tell the people where they can get your music from?
Yes, sir. I'm new to posting things and putting them online. So you can pick up most of my videos on TikTok at Healing Harpist and on Instagram at Healing Harpist and Grace. And I do have a Facebook page, Healing Harpist and Grace. And can I just explain how that name came about?
Sure.
Okay, so when I started teaching myself, I'm like, okay, God, you gave me this talent. What should I call myself? And I'm an ICU nurse. That's my normal career. I'm a neurotrauma ICU nurse, and they would have violinists come in and play for the trauma victims, and in hopes that it would help them heal better and recover quicker. And in some instances, it really did work. So and that's why I decided with the healing harpist. Now the in grace part comes in because while I taught myself how to play, this is all God. This is God working through these hands. It is. I've tried it to see when I haven't prayed or I haven't read my Bible or I call myself, stepping back for a second because I'm in my feelings about something, and I try to sit down at this harp. I sound horrible. I promise you, I sound terrible. I can't think of any songs. I can't hear anything. But the minute I get back on track, I'll hear the melodies in my sleep, and then I pop up. As soon as I pop up, I go straight to the harp and I start trying to replicate what I heard in my dreams. And that's how a lot of these songs come about. Like that last particular song that was on the video that just played, I was going through a lot in that song. And I was crying right before I started playing. I was bawling my eyes out when God dropped the song, and I could just hear the song while I was praying. And so I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna go to this harp and I'm gonna try to put this to some melody and let's see how it works out. And that's how I came about that song. All the songs that I record, if I don't say this is by Mozart or this is by Beethoven, it's something that God dropped in my spirit. And I always like to give a background to where this song came from. So when somebody hears it, if they start feeling a type of way, this is why you're feeling like this, because this is where it came from when God gave me this song. Like that song came from a place of, I'm here, I hear you, I got you, lean on me, don't worry about the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that song was soothing to me. It was like it was soothing to my soul. It's just like really, really puts you in a relaxed mindset. When I hear the song, it really put me in a relaxed mindset. So I mean, it was really soothing to my soul. So 2.5 years. I know I'm on this. You're playing it 2.5 years, and you're writing your own music in
Yes.
2.5 years. So that is amazing. It's very commendable, and like you say though, it's God works through us in different ways. So when this COVID came about, He used you to come and start playing this music. And so this music is like your mom said, it's going to reach people. It's going to touch people's spirit. It's going to heal some people, like you brought about the violin in the hospital, being able to heal people. Music is a way for people to heal. It brings them back to a good time. It puts them in a good set. And I think your music is definitely going to do that. So what do you see in the future for your music?
Ooh, I right now here in Tampa, I do play at all funerals for free. Um, I have done graveside funerals for free. I don't charge for stuff like that, and I just started a 501(c)(3) called Healing Harpist and Grace Incorporated. And when I do charge for like weddings and things like that, I take that money and I buy instruments for adults.
Mm,
They have lots of programs for kids that they give free instruments out at, but for adults, there are none. And I
mm,
know a lot of adults who used to play, and when they grew up, they couldn't afford the instrument or it just lost their mind. And when I'm in conversation and somebody mentions to me, oh, I used to play the violin, I used to play the guitar, I'm like, okay, you're on my list next. So I kind of just get their information and then I surprise them with the instrument. So far,
mm,
we have bought a piano, um, one electric guitar, one acoustic, two acoustic guitars, a trombone, and a cello. So
oh,
that's my goal is to just get everybody into playing music. It's one thing to hear music with words
mhm,
and you pick up somebody else's feeling off of it, but when you
mhm.
just have an instrumental, you can put your words to any of my songs. You can put your prayer to any of my songs because my words aren't getting in the way. It's all you. So that's one thing I like about posting the instrumentals. And when I do play for other people, I tell them, take this song and put your prayer to this song. Take this song and put your words to this song and glorify God in it. And,
Yeah,
and my goal is to like spread instruments to everybody in Tampa or whoever I can get instruments to
yeah,
and make instrumentals, back a popular thing because right now a lot of people are still relying on other people's words to give them peace, other people's words to give them, what they need.
yeah. Not only other people's
Not only
words,
other people.
they are relying on
They are
other people's music as well, because a lot of people are sampling other people's music. So
Oh
that creative aspect is kind of gone a little bit there. So you doing what you're doing, that's helping to get back to back before your time, the 60s and 70s, when
yeah.
people played instruments and they played everything on the record. You heard, they were playing it back then.
Right.
Now we got all this samples and electronic stuff, that's getting in the way of people of having musicians like yourself. So that's very commendable, very honorable of you. And I noticed a couple of people said Tampa. Yes, she's in the Tampa Bay area, so she has the 501(c) that she's giving away instruments. I don't know if y'all caught that or not, but giving away instruments to people, so that they can learn how to play music. So and that is great. That is great. I really commend you for that as well. Um, so I see Shelton said I'm buying a harp. So
Do it.
yeah, let's see. He has something else. Where can I see your music here in Tampa?
Well, I play at my church, Center for Manifestation, on Lake Avenue. in Tampa. And I tried to play at the park, but I got kicked out because I didn't have a permit. So you're in Tampa, you got to have a permit to play in the park or somewhere like that. So I need
Really?
to,
Okay.
and insurance apparently. So
Wow.
I need to get insurance and a permit and coordinate with the city to be able to just pop up at the park and play. I've been trying. Tampa won't let
Wow.
me. But most of my music I just upload on TikTok at Healing Harpist.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, I actually do have a trumpet, so I'm gonna have to connect with you and get you that trumpet. I don't play
So
it. My son played it.
that is my one thing when I give somebody an instrument, I tell them all I want from you is a duet. So the person that got the trombone and the cello and the violins, I tell them the guitars, when you finish teaching yourself how to play, I want my duet. That's all I want. So I'm waiting on my duets. I see a couple of the recipients on here. I want my duet. Don't forget about that.
I think one of them was your sister, right?
Yeah.
She plays you gave her a violin, or she has a
An
violin?
electric violin and the amp to go with it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to see that myself. So anything else you want to add?
No, just if the biggest thing to take out of this is have ears for God. That's the biggest thing more than
Amen.
anything else. Have ears for God. And when you start realizing that you can't really feel God or hear God like you used to, then realize that there is something in the way. And normally it's you. When I can't hear God, it's me in the way. And when I get me out the way and I put my focus back on my audience of one, then
Right.
I can hear God perfect. I hear the melodies perfect. And when I play, people say, oh my God, I've heard harpers before, but it's something different about you. And I
Right.
tell them, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. It's God working through these hands. I pray for these hands before I take care of my patients. I pray for these hands before I play my harp, because if I take care of these patients without God working through these hands, then they might die. So if I play, you won't feel God through this harp. So
Okay.
I always pray before I do anything with these hands. That way God can work through me. That's all I want.
All right. All right. So I missed one comment that I don't know if you saw that, but got to get that comment up there.
Oh, that's my father-in-law.
Okay. So it's gone too fast for me. So, so I appreciate you coming by tonight and blessing us with this music and this story of I knew you played. I didn't know it was only 2.5 years. So I'm still blown away by that. So I appreciate you, and we will see you at the end of the month as
Yes, sir.
we're coming down to Tampa. So you guys have a great evening tonight, and we'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good night. All right. So that is it for our show tonight. And that's I neglected to mention at the beginning of the show that this is actually the last show of the first season, and Tina couldn't be with us tonight. So unfortunately, Tina couldn't be with us tonight, but she will be back for the second season, which will start in July. So we will be running some replays of some of the shows that we had during the first season. So be sure to check us out, on Facebook and with the Lyfe magazine at facebook.com/mylifemag, and Twitter, we're the Lyfe magazine. Instagram, we're the Lyfe magazine. And TikTok, we're also the Lyfe magazine. So make sure you check us out. Have a good evening.